Today I want to examine a few occult characters who practice the art of scrying to experience divination. Orb pondering is a popular meme nowadays, and it was a very real thing dating back over 1,000 years and not to be taken lightly. A crystal ball or polished obsidian, the art of staring past the orb in a meditative state after invoking of a spirit or performing ceremonial magic is a useful tool in seeking an actual manifestation of these entities. Like with many occult practices, the connection to the unconscious must be somewhat mastered for this to be effective. I would recommend meditating for half an hour each day looking to access a spiritual realm of sorts. Liber 777 of the Rosicrucian teachings will have you access a celestial sanctum during your meditation twice daily. I find this to be an effective initiation tool. You can visualize a grand temple or something very divine, this big structure in your mind that exists in the astral that you can kind of spiral up to during your meditations with a few invocations and on your arrival and on your departure. But anyways, back to today's topic. Let's take a look at John Dee, a prominent mathematician, astronomer, and occultist who lived in England during the 16th century. He was deeply interested in the study of alchemy, divination, and hermetic philosophies. He believed that by communing with the spirits through scrying, he could gain access to hidden knowledge and secrets of the universe. Dee's work in the occult was heavily influenced by Hermetic principles, which emphasized the importance of understanding the hidden connections between the physical and the spiritual realm. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, there was a resurgence of interest in the occult and esoteric knowledge, which was fueled in part by the spiritualist movement and the popularity of seances at the time. Many people believed that by communicating with spirits and ghosts, they could gain access to hidden knowledge and wisdom. One of the most prominent figures of this era was Helena Blavatsky, who founded the Theosophical Society in 1875. Blavatsky was a well-known occultist who claimed to have received secret knowledge from a group of ascended masters. And we can wonder if these ascended masters were the Tibetans that the Nazis also tried to seek out, and in a lot of writings these were one and the same, and I believe they did have close ties to the Theosophical Society. That's a whole other topic, but they believe that there was like these agarthic inner earth ascended masters that kind of originated into Tibet, and Nazis took like an actual voyage to Tibet to try to meet these things, and who knows what happened there. But going forward, she emphasized the importance of studying esoteric knowledge and engaging in spiritual practices to attain enlightenment. In the early 20th century, the American author H.P. Lovecraft became famous for his horror fiction, which often featured elements of the occult and esotericism. Lovecraft was deeply interested in the work of John Dee and other historical figures who engaged in scrying and spirit communication. He incorporated many of these themes into his own stories, which often featured ancient and ever-powerful beings from other dimensions and realms like Cthulhu. And, today there's Cthulhu channeling and scrying that some occultists actually practice based on kind of Giordano's principle of that imagination is reality, and art is just as real as anything that exists, and art is the bridge between the conscious and unconscious. And so H.P. Lovecraft creating this idea of Cthulhu thus brings it to life in the unconscious realm. And there's people today that will take Cthulhu up as a real deity that they worship, and it's kind of like in Solomonic magic, these 72 demons living in the collective unconscious, just because of these archetypes that exist through human experience and imagination. It's just kind of cool topics to go off on, but overall, the The occult practices of scrying, seances, and spirit communication are deeply rooted in Hermetic principles and the study of esoteric knowledge. Throughout history, many prominent figures have engaged in these practices, including John Dee, Blavatsky, H.P. Lovecraft. They've all left a lasting impact on the world of the occult. John Dee's experiments largely relied on the use of crystal balls to communicate with spirits and angels. He was one of the OG Orb Ponderers, I guess you could say. While Dee primarily sought to communicate with angels and divine beings, he also had encounters with entities that he believed to be demons. One of Dee's most famous encounters with a demon occurred in 1582, when he and his associate Edward Kelly claimed to have received messages from a being they referred to as Liber Logaeth, or the Book of Enoch. According to their accounts, the book was written by the angel Uriel and contained a complex system of letters and symbols that could be used to communicate with God and other divine beings. However, during their experiments with the book, Dee and Kelly claimed to have encountered a being that they believed to be a demon. They referred to the entity as Medini or Medini and claimed that it spoke to them in a language that they did not understand. Dee believed that the entity was trying to deceive them and lead them astray from their spiritual path, the path of enlightenment. Another famous encounter that Dee had with a demon occurred during a scrying session with Kelly in 1587. According to their accounts, they saw a vision of a black dog, which they believed to be a demon in disguise. The dog spoke to them in a deep, terrifying voice and warned them that their experiments with the occult would bring them nothing but misery and destruction. Thank you for listening.